stop saying I love you to anyone else until you can say it to yourself and mean it. Stop promising forever to others when you break promises to yourself every day. Stop trying to heal others when your own wounds are still bleeding. Your relationship status, it's not single or taken, it's emotionally unavailable to yourself. And that's the most dangerous relationship status of all. We live in a world obsessed with finding love, keeping love, celebrating love, as long as that love is directed at someone else. We write songs about loving others, make movies about sacrificing for others, tell stories about dying for others. But the moment someone says they love themselves, they're labeled narcissistic. The moment someone chooses themselves, they're called selfish. The moment someone puts themselves first, they're deemed unworthy of love. You're looking in the mirror right now, aren't you? Not physically, but in your mind. You see that reflection of yourself, and deep down, there's something that makes you turn away. Something that makes you wish you were different. Better, more worthy of love. Stop. Just stop for a moment. When was the last time you truly looked at yourself with the eyes of compassion? When did you last speak to yourself with the same gentleness you offer to others? The same understanding you extend to strangers? The same forgiveness you give friends? We live in a world that has taught us to measure our worth through the eyes of others. We've become experts at loving everyone else but ourselves. We pour out endless cups of kindness, yet our own cup remains empty. And somehow, we've convinced ourselves that this is noble, that this is right, that this is what love should look like. But let me tell you something that might shake you to your core. The greatest act of service you can offer to this world is to love yourself. Not with the superficial self-love that's splashed across social media, but with a deep, profound, and transformative love that changes you from the inside out. You see, we've got it all backward. We're trying to fill others' cups while ours is cracked and leaking. We're attempting to build others up while our own foundation is crumbling. We're trying to light others' paths while stumbling in our own darkness. Every single day, we make choices. Hundreds of them. From the moment we open our eyes to the second we close them at night. But how many of those choices are made from a place of self-love? How many decisions do you make that honor your truth, your worth, your potential? Think about it. When you say yes to something you don't want to do, is that love? When you silence your voice because you're afraid of judgments, is that love? When you accept less than what you deserve because you're afraid of being alone. No, that's not love. That's fear disguised as compromise. That's doubt masquerading as humility. That's unworthiness wearing the mask of sacrifice. May love, the kind that transforms lives and moves mountains, begins with you. It begins with understanding that you are not just worthy of love. You are love itself. You are not just deserving of respect. You are respect embodied. You are not just seeking peace. You are peace manifested. Well, here's where many of us get stuck. We think self-love is selfish. We've been conditioned to believe that putting ourselves first means putting others last. This is one of the greatest lies we've ever been told. Let me share something with you. Have you ever been on an airplane? You know that part in the safety demonstration where they tell you to put your own oxygen mask on first before helping others. There's profound wisdom in that simple instruction. You cannot give what you don't have. You cannot share what you don't possess. You cannot love others fully until you love yourself completely. Self-love isn't about buying yourself expensive gifts or taking luxurious vacations. It's not about posting self-care Sunday photos or reciting affirmations in the mirror. Those things are nice, but they're just the surface. Self-love goes deeper, much deeper. It's about having the courage to set boundaries even when others call you selfish. It's about speaking your truth, even when your voice shakes. It's about choosing yourself even when the whole world seems to be pushing you in another direction. Think about the relationships in your life right now. The ones that drain you The ones that lift you, the ones that leave you questioning your worth. How many of these relationships would exist if you truly loved yourself? How many of these situations would you tolerate? If you valued yourself, you see, when you start to love yourself truly, deeply, unconditionally, something magical happens. The universe begins to reflect that love back to you. People start treating you differently because you're treating yourself differently. Opportunities begin to appear because you finally believe you deserve them. Life starts to transform because you've transformed your relationship with yourself. Well, let's be honest. This journey isn't easy. If it were, everyone would be doing it. The path to self-love is often paved with uncomfortable truths and challenging realizations. It requires us to face parts of ourselves we've been running from. This demands that we acknowledge our worth, even when the world tells us we're worthless. Have you ever watched a master craftsman at work? They don't rush. They don't cut corners. They take their time paying attention to every detail, knowing that each small decision contributes to the final masterpiece. That's how you need to approach loving yourself. Start with the small things. Pay attention to your self-talk. Would you speak to someone you love the way you speak to yourself? Would you criticize a friend as harshly as you criticize yourself? Would you dismiss someone else's dreams the way you dismiss your own? Every time you catch yourself in negative self-talk, stop. Take a breath. Replace that criticism with compassion. Replace that judgment with understanding. Replace that harshness with gentleness. Remember that time when you made a mistake and you couldn't forgive yourself. Remember how you carried that burden, letting it weigh you down, letting it define you. Would you do that to someone else? Would you hold them to such impossible standards? Would you deny them the grace of human imperfection? Your relationship with yourself sets the tone for every other relationship in your life. It's the foundation upon which everything else is built. If that foundation is weak, if it's built on self-doubt and self-criticism, how can anything strong and beautiful grow from it? Think about the people you admire most. The ones who inspire you, who move you, who make you believe in the possibility of more. What do they all have in common? They own their worth. They love themselves unapologetically. It's what most people don't say. They weren't born that way. They weren't gifted with an extra portion of self-love. They made a choice, a conscious, deliberate choice to value themselves, to honor their truth, to love themselves first. And that's the choice that stands before you right now. Will you continue to put everyone else's needs before your own? Will you keep dimming your light to make others comfortable? Will you keep accepting less than what you deserve because you're afraid of asking for more? Or will you make a different choice? Will you choose to see yourself through eyes of love? Will you choose to treat yourself with the respect you deserve? Will you choose to put your oxygen mask on first? The world needs you to love yourself, not just for your sake, but for the sake of everyone whose life you touch. Because when you love yourself truly, you give others permission to do the same. When you honor your worth, you show others how to honor theirs. When you choose yourself, you demonstrate what healthy love looks like. Think about all the time and energy you spent trying to prove your worth to others. All the compromises you've made trying to earn love. All the pieces of yourself you've hidden trying to fit in. What if you took all that energy and directed it inward? What if you spent that time getting to know yourself, understanding yourself, loving yourself? Self-love isn't a destination. It's a journey. It's a daily practice of choosing yourself again and again. It's about building a relationship with yourself that's so strong, so secure, that nothing and no one can shake it. It's about looking in the mirror and seeing not just your flaws, but your strength. Not just your mistakes, but your resilience. Not just your failures. But this journey requires courage. The courage to stand alone when necessary. The courage to speak up when it would be easier to stay silent. The courage to choose yourself when the world is telling you to choose differently. Do you have that courage? Are you ready to embark on this journey of self-love? Are you prepared to face the uncomfortable truths? To do the deep work? To make the hard choices? You are worthy of love. Not because of what you do, but because of who you are. Not because of what you, but because you exist. Not because of how others see you, but because of how you choose to see yourself. The love you're seeking outside yourself has always been within you. The validation you're chasing has always been yours to give. The peace you're searching for has always been in your own heart. It's about you've been looking outward instead of inward. You've been searching for in others what can only be found within yourself. You've been trying to fill a void that can only be filled with self-love. Starting today, make a commitment to yourself. A commitment to love yourself more than anyone else. A commitment to choose yourself first. A commitment to honor your truth. Because when you love yourself more than anyone else, something extraordinary happens. You stop accepting less than you deserve. You stop compromising your values. You stop dimming your light. Instead, you start attracting people and opportunities that align with your worth. You start creating boundaries that protect your peace. You start living a life that reflects your true value. It's your moment. Your time to choose. Your opportunity to transform. Will you take it? Will you finally give yourself the love you've been giving to everyone else? Will you finally put yourself first? Remember, loving yourself more than anyone else isn't selfish. It's necessary. It's not arrogance. It's authentic. It's self-aware. The world is waiting for you to love yourself. Your dreams are waiting for you to believe in yourself. Your potential is waiting for you to embrace yourself. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for approval. Don't wait for someone else to show you how worthy you are. Start now. Start here. Start with this moment. Look in that mirror, the one in your mind. And this time, don't turn away. Look deeper. See beyond the surface. See the strength, the resilience, the beauty that's always been there. And make a promise. A promise to love yourself more fiercely than anyone else ever could. A promise to choose yourself. A promise to become your own best friend. Your own strongest advocate. Your own greatest love. Because when you love yourself more than anyone else, you don't just change your life. You change the world. You show others what's possible. You demonstrate what real love looks like. You become a light that helps others find their way. This is your time. This is your journey. This is your love story. And it begins with you choosing you. Its question isn't whether you're worthy of love. You are. The question's whether you're ready to give that love to yourself. Whether you're prepared to make that commitment to yourself. Whether you're willing to put yourself first. Are you ready? Because this journey of self-love, it starts now. It starts with your next choice. It starts with your next thought. It starts with your next action. And remember, every time you choose yours, every time you honor your worth, every time you act from a place of self-love, you're not just changing your life. You're changing the lives of everyone around you. You're showing them what's possible. You're demonstrating what healthy love looks like. You're setting a new standard for how people should treat themselves and others. So stand tall, stand proud, stand in your worth. Love yourself more than anyone else. Not because others don't deserve your love, but because you can't truly love others until you love yourself completely. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your love story. And it starts right now with you choosing you. In the depths of your heart, there's a voice. A quiet whisper that speaks of dreams unrealized, of potential untapped, of a life waiting to be lived fully. But that voice often gets drowned out by the noise of daily life, by the expectations of others, by the fear of not being enough. That voice is your truth. That voice is your power. That voice is the essence of who you are. Waiting to be acknowledged, waiting to be heard, waiting to be loved. But we silence that voice. We push it down. We ignore it. Why? Because somewhere along the way, we learned that our voice doesn't matter as much as others. We learned that our dreams aren't as important as others' expectations. We learned that our needs should come last. And let me tell you, powerful. Every time you silence that voice, every time you ignore your truth, every time you choose others' comfort over your own growth, you're telling yourself that you're not worth listening to. You are reinforcing the belief that your feelings don't matter. You're teaching yourself that your dreams are less important. Is this the lesson you want to keep learning? Is this the story you want to keep telling yourself? Is this the life you want to keep living? Your life is not a dress rehearsal. This is not a practice run. This is your one precious life. And every moment you spend diminishing yourself is a moment you can never get back. Think about the last time you felt truly alive. Truly yourself. Truly free. What was different about that moment? What made it special? I'll tell you what made it special. In that moment, you weren't trying to be anyone else. You weren't trying to meet anyone else's expectations. You were simply beautifully, authentically you. That feeling, that's what self-love feels like. That's what it means to be aligned with your truth. That's what it means to honor your worth. But here's where most people get stuck. They think self-love is about feeling good all the time. They think it's about never having doubts, never feeling fear, never experiencing pain. This is another lie we need to unlearn. Self-love isn't about feeling good all the time. It's about being true to yourself, even when it's hard. It's about honoring your needs, even when it's uncomfortable. It's about choosing your growth, even when it's painful. Sometimes self-love looks like saying no to an opportunity that doesn't align with your values. Sometimes it looks like walking away from a relationship that diminishes your worth. Sometimes it looks like facing your fears instead of running from them. You see, true self-love is not always comfortable. It's not always easy. But it's always gorgeous. Think about a garden for a moment. To create something beautiful, you have to get your hands dirty. You have to pull out weeds. You have to prune away dead branches. That's what self-love looks like in practice. It's about getting your hands dirty in the soil of your own growth. It's about pulling out the weeds of self-doubt and negative self-talk. It's about pruning away relationships and habits that no longer serve you. It's about creating space for new possibilities to bloom. But here's the beautiful thing about gardening. Once you've done the hard work, once you've prepared the soil and planted the seeds, nature takes over. Growth becomes natural. Beauty emerges on its own. The same is true with self-love. Once you've done the hard work of facing your truth, once you've started honoring your worth, once you've begun choosing yourself, everything else starts falling into place naturally. Your relationships improve because you're no longer accepting less than you deserve. Your work becomes more fulfilling because you're no longer compromising your values. Your life becomes more peaceful because you're no longer at war with yourself. This transformation doesn't happen overnight. Just like a garden doesn't bloom in a day, self-love grows gradually, consistently, steadily. It grows in the small moments when you choose to speak kindly to yourself instead of criticizing. It grows in the quiet decisions to honor your boundaries instead of compromising them. It grows in the daily practice of choosing yourself again and again and again. Every time you listen to your inner voice, instead of drowning it out with noise, you're growing self-love. Every time you honor your needs instead of ignoring them, you're growing self-love. Every time you choose your truth over others' expectations, you're growing self-love. But what about the days when it feels impossible? What about the moments when self-doubt creeps in? What about the times when loving yourself feels like the hardest thing in the world? Those are the moments that matter most. Those are the moments that define your journey. Those are the moments when choosing yourself makes the biggest difference. Because self-love isn't about feeling worthy all the time. It's about treating yourself as worthy, even when you don't feel it. It's about honoring your worth, even when others don't see it. It's about choosing yourself, even when it would be easier not to. Now think about how you treat someone you deeply love when they're struggling. You don't abandon them because they're having a hard time. You don't criticize them because they're not perfect. You don't give up on them because they've made mistakes. No, you stand by them. You support them. You remind them of their worth. You help them see their strength. That's how you need to treat yourself. That's what self-love looks like in practice. That's what it means to be your own best friend. When you're struggling, be gentle with yourself. When you're afraid, comfort yourself. When you've made mistakes, forgive yourself. When you're feeling lost, guide yourself back home. Because that's what love does. Real love doesn't abandon. Real love doesn't criticize. And then the love you give yourself should be the realest love of all. Self-love isn't just about how you treat yourself. It's also about how you allow others to treat you. It's about the standards you set. It's about the boundaries you maintain. It's about the respect you demand. Every time you let someone treat you as less than worthy, you're teaching them and yourself that it's acceptable. Every time you accept behavior that diminishes your worth, every time you compromise your values to please others, you're sending a message about what you'll tolerate. Is that the message you want to send? Is that the standard you want to set? Is that the life you want to? Your life is a reflection of your self-love. Your relationships mirror your relationship with yourself. Your success echoes your belief in yourself. Your peace manifests from your acceptance of yourself. So look at your life now. Really look at it. What is it telling you about your relationship with yourself? What is it revealing about your level of self-love? You don't like what you see. When you have the power to change it, you have the ability to set new standards. You have the right to demand more from yourself and from others. Because when you truly love yourself, you stop accepting anything less than what you deserve. You stop settling for crumbs when you deserve the whole feast. You stop dimming your light to make others comfortable with their dark. Instead, you start creating a life that reflects your worth. You start attracting relationships that honor your value. You start living in a way that aligns with your truth. But this journey requires courage. The courage to look honestly at your life. The courage to make difficult changes. The courage to choose yourself even when it means choosing alone. You have that courage? Are you ready to love yourself that fiercely? Are you prepared to create a life that reflects your true worth? Because that's what this journey of self-love is really about. It's not just about feeling better about yourself. It's about creating a life that's worthy of you. It's about building relationships that enhance your worth. It's about making choices that honor your truth. And it all begins with a choice. Your choice right now. Will you choose to love yourself more than anyone else? Will you choose to honor your worth above all else? Will you choose to create a life that reflects your true value? The answer to these questions will determine everything: your happiness, your success, your peace, your fulfillment. Choose wisely. Choose courageously. Choose yourself. Too often we treat self-love like a reward we have to earn. We think, once I achieve this goal, then I'll be worthy of love. Once I fix these flaws, then I'll deserve acceptance. This is backwards thinking. Self-love isn't the destination. It's the journey's foundation. When you truly begin to love yourself, you stop seeking validation from external sources. You stop measuring your worth through others' eyes. You stop needing everyone to understand or approve of your choices. Yet, you become your own source of validation, your own measure of success, This doesn't mean you become selfish or isolated. Quite the opposite. When you truly love yourself, you have more to give others. Your relationships become deeper because they're built on authenticity rather than need. Your impact becomes greater because it comes from a place of fullness rather than... Your journey to self-love is as unique as your fingerprint. There's no universal roadmap, no one-size-fits-all solution. What matters is that you start where you are with what you have, doing what you can. Begin with forgiveness. For all of the times you've betrayed yourself, for all of the times you've settled for less, for all the times you've silenced your truth. Forgiveness opens the door to transformation. Then make a commitment, not to perfection, but to progress. Not to fearlessness, but to courage. This is your moment. This is your life. This is your journey to profound self-love. And it starts with your next breath. Your next choice, your next step forward. Your heart holds a wisdom that your mind sometimes forgets. It knows your true worth, your deepest desires, your authentic path. When you learn to listen to this inner wisdom, everything changes. The world will try to convince you that love is scarce, that you must compete for it, fight for it, prove yourself worthy of it. But love isn't scarce. It's abundant. And it begins with the love you give yourself. Every time you honor your boundaries, you're teaching others how to treat you. Every time you speak your truth, you're strengthening your connection with yourself. Every time you choose your own growth over others' comfort, you're building a foundation of unshakable self-worth. The greatest gift you can give yourself is permission. Permission to be imperfect. Permission to make mistakes. Permission to grow at your own pace. You don't need to earn this permission. You don't need to prove yourself worthy of it. You simply need to claim it. Your journey to self-love isn't about becoming someone new. It's about returning to who you've always been beneath the layers of doubt, fear, and conditioning. It's about remembering your inherent worth, your natural wisdom, your authentic power. This moment right here is your invitation to come home to yourself, to embrace your truth, to claim your worth, to love yourself completely, unconditionally, and without apology. Because when you love yourself this way, you become unstoppable. Not because you never fail, but because you know that failure doesn't define you. Not because you never fear, but because you trust yourself to handle whatever comes. There comes a moment in every person's life when they must make a fundamental choice. To continue living by default or to begin living by design. To keep accepting what life hands them or to start creating what they truly deserve. That moment is now, right here. In this breath, you've spent enough time dimming your light. You've spent enough years doubting your worth. You've spent enough moments questioning your value. The time for half measures is over. Your era of true self-love is beginning. You are not broken. You do not need fixing. You are not a problem to be solved. You are a soul to be expressed, a light to be shined, a force to be unleashed. No more must need your authentic self. Not the version you think others want to see. Not the mask you wear to fit in. Not the smaller version you've become comfortable being. The world needs you in all your messy, beautiful, imperfect glory. Your self-love journey isn't just about you. When you love yourself fully, you give others permission to do the same. When you honor your worth, you show others how to value themselves. When you live your truth, you light the way for others to find their own path. This is your legacy. This is your gift to the world. This is your purpose. To love yourself so completely that others can't help but be transformed by your example. Still stand tall in your truth. Walk proudly in your worth. Because you are enough. You have always been enough. And from this moment forward, let no one, not even yourself, convince you otherwise. This is your time. This is your moment. This is your life. Love yourself like your life depends on it. Because it does. Love yourself like the world depends on it. Because it does. Love yourself more than anyone else. Because that's how transformation begins. But the journey starts now. The power is yours. Rise up and claim your worth. Step into your power. Embrace your truth. And love yourself more than anyone else ever could.